Hey everyone, it's Rob Foglia and Jessica Klein with Foglia Properties at Keller Williams Realty here in Nashville. And today we're going to be answering some of the hashtag Ask Realtor Rob questions. We're excited to start doing this every month, answering some of your frequently asked questions. Before we get started, Jessica, we wanted to remind everybody about our client appreciation event. Do you want to give them a rundown on it?
Yeah, so it's today from 4 to 7 at Arrington Vineyards in Arrington, Tennessee. And it's such a fun venue. It's going to be really nice, by 80 degrees outside. We might have some cloud cover, but that should be really great we're going to have music, we're going to have games and some snacks that we brought along, and of course wine because we're at a vineyard. So please come on down. It's absolutely kid friendly and we'll be there from 4 to 7. So just look for us out at the picnic tables.
Yep, exactly. And this is for our past clients or present clients or future clients as well. We'd love to have you come out, and so it'd be great to see y'all. But let's jump in and get started. I know there are some of the hashtag Ask Realtor Rob questions, so let's dive in and get started, Jessica.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so first question, how much are closing costs? And of course, I guess this would be different for sellers and for buyers.
Yeah, let's mostly talk about buyers when it comes to that question, because for sellers, I mean, we walk through what that looks like when we get together, and it's going to depend on a lot of just a lot of factors. For buyers, I love this question because a lot of times I'll get this question from buyers, and they don't quite even know what closing costs are. It's just kind of a general term that gets thrown out there, and typically when I hear that question, it's something that has to do with lender closing costs. And so first, the long answer short, it would be a question for your lender, but short answer long, I guess, I'll walk through what that looks like. Very generally, depending on your price, I'll allocate maybe about 2% of the home price for closing costs. If we're looking at a lower priced home around maybe 250, 300,000, it might be closer to 2.5 to 3% of that purchase price for closing costs. If we're looking upwards of closer to $1 million, it's probably going to be less than 2%, but very roughly about 2% for lender closing costs. And I'm glad we got this question because in past markets, even as recently as 18 to 24 months ago, it was relatively common to be able to get a seller to pay for closing costs for the buyers. Nowadays, with just how extreme of a seller's market it is, there's almost next to no way to make that happen. It can happen. We've had it happen this year some, and yet it shouldn't be a given. So buyers out there, if you're saving up your down payment, also save up for closing costs. It's going to make the process go easier.
Awesome. And that actually leads me into my next question. Well, into the next question we have here. Okay, so how do I know what price houses to look at? So if I'm a buyer and I'm going out to look for a house, how do I know what price range to look in?
Two ways that I'd answer this question. Just like the first one, I would say, first off, we've got to get you connected with a great lender so we can figure out your budget. Because lenders, what they do is they run your credit. They look at what they call your debt to income ratio, and they're going to decide based on how much money you make, how much your other debts are. So think like student loans, credit card payments, not house payments, car payments, things like that. They're going to add in that future house payment too, and they're going to say you're approved up to a certain amount. Now that doesn't mean that you have to go all the way up to that number. I know for some people, if they've been very responsible with their credit, maybe they don't have student loans or credit card debt or car debt. And if they make good money, they very well might have a budget that is well beyond what they actually want to go after. So what I would recommend is we look at your monthly budget and we say, all right, well, if you want to say spend $1,500 a month on housing, then where does that lead us based on how much you're putting down? What that lender says your payment's gonna go toward. Where does that put us? Maybe your budget's $2,500 a month. Well, where does that put us? So we start basically by A, getting you connected with a lender, and B, figuring out what your monthly budget should look like.
Awesome. Okay, I love that. And that's also something I've been a renter recently, and that was something I had an issue wrapping my mind around and knowing, okay, well, let's start with what I'm willing to do monthly and see if the lender agrees. Awesome. Okay, so do I need to get a home inspection when I buy a house?
Well, it is up to you. I would say, in my opinion, 100% yes. I mean, it's a market where, unfortunately, there are some buyers waiving home inspections, and I don't quite get it, to be honest with you, because the home inspection is there for your protection. And as a home buyer, like, we could be walking through next to a brand new home, an almost brand new home, and yet there might be some things that we don't see. some things that are there that we don't see. Maybe some things in the crawl space, some things in the attic, some things that a home inspector, and that's what they're trained for. They're trained to do is to find those things. They're going to spot. And so definitely get a home inspection. We've got some great home inspectors we can connect you with. Our go-to is always Nashville Home Inspection. John and Joan Watkins, they do a phenomenal job. They've got a great team, but there are other great ones in the area as well. So shout out to John and Joan, though. They do a fantastic job.
And one really important thing to note with that is getting a home inspection does not mean that you necessarily are going to be asking for repairs. So it doesn't make it doesn't make you any less of a desirable buyer to get a home inspection. It just gives you information so that you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you said that too, Jessica, because what we're doing to help win offers right now, while keeping our buyers protected, is writing an offer that's contingent on the home inspection. However, making it what we call an as-is sale. What that means is the buyer is still protected if something comes up in the home inspection. Just say, I don't know, worst case scenario, the inspector opens the electrical box and it needs to be
It's
replaced,
literally a
or,
rat's nest.
yeah, rat's nest back there,
Yeah.
or they go in the crawl space and the house is ready to fall down. I mean, just just worst case scenarios that don't happen too often. If that happens and we're not comfortable moving forward, the buyer's not comfortable moving forward, they're still protected by that contingency. It just says that we're not going to nickel and dime the sellers.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so now it looks like we have an opportunity to move a little bit into the selling side. So if I'm buying and selling, which part do I start with?
That's a great question. It's kind of a complicated question depending on the person. And so hopefully if y'all made it this far in our video, you've seen that these aren't always just blanket, like cut and dry answers, and it's going to depend on the scenario, and you need to reach out to us so we can help you evaluate this. However, long answer short with it, the way that it works is typically you need to sell your home first before you buy. Now, it depends if you can get qualified to have both mortgages. It depends on if you have a down payment for that mortgage. Depends if you qualify for programs like our home swap program that would allow you to buy first. Like, there's so many different moving parts and factors, and that's where that conversation with us really is so important. There are a lot of scenarios where we can help you basically only move once and maybe buy before you sell, or maybe buy and sell at the exact same time. However, in reality, the process starts with selling first for most people.
Okay, great to know. And then this is our final question for today, for today's video. How long does it take to sell my house?
Also, a lot of factors that go into it. It depends on the market, depends on how well it's priced compared to other sales that are out there, or other homes that are out there, I should say. Now, very generally, as long as we've priced the home correctly, and we're gonna advise you on what that looks like. And so, we're gonna advise you as to, if we price it here, this is what we should expect. However, if we've priced the home correctly, if you've done the things that we've suggested that you do to get the home prepped and ready for sale, we should expect an offer in today's market, that first weekend on the market. It's not abnormal. Now, there are a couple of things that I'll say to that, like almost an asterisk to put next to it. If we're if we're in a looking to sell a home that's way out there in the country, or way out there in an area that's just not moving as quickly as most parts of Middle Tennessee, that might not be the case. If we're at a super high price point, that also might not be the case. However, very generally, that is the case, where we should expect that buyer to come about that first weekend on the market.
All right, well, that sounds great. So, I mean, I think that this was a really great conversation for me. I enjoyed this. If anybody has additional questions, we will be doing this every month. So please continue to use that hashtag #AskRealtorRob. You can email us, you can text us, you can call us, you can just post it as a status, or literally anywhere on Facebook or Instagram using that hashtag. And we will collect these questions and we will answer every month. So please ask us anything you can think of.
Yep, absolutely. We want to, our whole point of doing these videos, not just the hashtag #AskRealtorRob, but all of our weekly videos, is help educate and inform just the buying and selling real estate public out there. And so that's the whole point of these videos too. The hashtag #AskRealtorRob videos, we're doing these to help educate and inform. So if y'all have any questions, it could be as simple as, do I get a home inspection, or what is a home inspection even, or how do I get started buying a home? By all means, y'all put it in the comments field somewhere. We'll search the hashtag and we'll find it before next month's video.
Absolutely. Well, we are very excited to see any of you who can make it out to Arrington today. And if we don't see you today, hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, appreciate y'all checking this out. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.